Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot and a member of PMGG's test team. A new picture of the PMGG 777 just came out that actually shows it with a fully functioning weather radar. And I'm not talking the default Microsoft Flight Simulator radar, I'm talking about the actual fully fledged weather radar simulation that you can see in the picture over here. Okay. I have to admit, I'm kinda trolling you over here. This is of course not a picture of the new upcoming PMGG 777. This is from 9 years ago, from Microsoft Flight Simulator X and the first PMGG 777. But it did feature a weather radar. And back then the weather radar worked through the Active Sky add-on from Hi-Fi Simulation Technologies. And what can I say? This might actually not be fiction in the sooner future. Hi-Fi have just announced their Active Sky FS add-on, following up the traditional Active Sky series for FSX and P3D. For those of you who are not aware, Active Sky used to be the best weather add-on available for Microsoft Flight Simulator and later Prepared over a very long period of time, and personally I used it for a period of over 10 years from my first Active Sky. I don't even remember if it was Active Sky Next or Active Sky 2012. I believe Next was the earlier version, and that one was the first one featuring the Weather Radar API. But let's have a look into what the new add-on is going to offer. Now, I'm going to link the original product page in the video description below so that you guys can have a look at those lovely screenshots. Today I'm not going to go over all those screenshots, even though a lot of them are provided here on the product page, because number one, you can look at screenshots yourself. I do trust you to be able to do that. And number two, because screenshots don't actually tell us that much about what is going on in an actual weather simulation. So let's have a look into the feature lists of Active Sky FS, or short ASFS. And let's have a look into what the new add-on is going to bring. The first question first though, when is it going to be released? And the answer is very, very soon. On the product page in the FAQ section down here, they're talking about, we hope to release it within the coming days or weeks. Check back for the latest news, so do keep an eye out on this. Now, let's have a look at what the new add-on is going to be able to do then. They do describe it as focused on comprehensive weather realism simulation. ASFS includes high-fidelity weather data, planning, briefing, mapping, live weather, optional historical weather with playback, custom weather scenarios, API, multiple depiction options, air effects, and much, much more. Now, if we do have a look down here into the feature list, they do say that they have active air effects with customizable clear air turbulence, thermals, drafts, and wake turbulence effects, working in tandem with the existing MSFS effects to provide an enhanced realism. Air effects are provided in any depiction mode. Now, talking about depiction modes, here is the interesting things there. You can either use it with live weather, which gets its weather data directly from the MSFS live weather, or you can use historical weather, and that is quite an interesting option there. So, for the first time in MSFS history, you can get hopefully a good weather add-on that does provide you historical weather data. Now, the historical data can either be locked to your simulator's time, so that you can directly just load up the simulator with a set time, and then it is going to load that in, and it is going to transition over the time as well, as they do have snapshots in hourly archives, as they say over here. Now, what's also something that I'm really looking forward to is the enhanced cloudscape and thunderstorm depiction, as those really rather lacked in Microsoft Flight Simulator. If we do take a little look down here, then here is one picture. Now, I do have to say that this is not really how I expect the typical thunderstorm cloud to look, so we'll have to see at how these things are going to evolve. I'm just kind of missing, typical ambers looking like CB over here, which would be the typical CB that you would see in the real world. But, well, we'll have to see about it. Certainly there are some rather impressive pictures in here. But we'll have to see all of that moving directly inside the simulator to tell how good it actually is. Now, in past versions of Active Sky, they did have a little bit of a tendency to over-depict how frontal systems looked like. Sometimes you set your navigation display to a range of 160 nautical miles, and the entire weather radar was just completely pink, which is, needless to say, completely unrealistic. But we'll have to see of how they developed on that, and certainly it does promise to become a rather interesting simulation that I'm certainly going to have a look at. Now, what is worth saying, and probably my favorite feature, is the Active Sky API. Now, interestingly enough over here, they say the API features weather lookup, effects, mode control, and weather condition control. It does not explicitly say that it is going to be for the weather radar as well, but based on past editions of Active Sky, I do think it is safe to say that they do plan to include that, but official confirmation pending. Now, if we do have a look then at a couple of the little bit more extensive information, then we can see down here that for weather and cloud depiction specifications, this is everything that they are going to offer. Now, I do trust you can read, so I do very much recommend you to have a look at that on the website. But what is really worth mentioning over here, if we go down to the air effects, we've got things here like clear air turbulence, which is really lacking in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now we've got turbulence included with broken and overcast cloud layers, which, to be honest, is a little bit surprising to me, because especially when you've got like few or scattered cumulus clouds, those are usually really related to turbulence. Just had one on my latest approach in Florida a couple of days ago. We just had a few cloud scenario, but as soon as we descended down onto the top of the cloud levels, turbulence really starts kicking in. Really interesting as well, though, is down here microburst and thunderstorm-based turbulence and draft effects. Now, let's have a little look into some of the features going down over the API of the software. Now, this looks pretty similar to what they had back in Prepared and in the later editions for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So it looks like the API is mostly the same, but the one thing that I want to show you down here is this one, the scenario base. And scenarios, you can see we've got decision-making challenges here, which can surely help you develop your flying skills, but the really interesting thing here, in my opinion, is a microburst encounter, severe icing, and wake turbulence encounter. Will be very interesting to see how they're going to simulate those, and I'm really looking forward to show you those in action right in the simulator as soon as the add-on comes out. Now, as I mentioned, there is no release date set, but they say within the coming days or weeks, so I'm pretty sure it can't be that long now. And since a lot of you are going to ask about Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 as well, the answer to that is they haven't tested it yet, but they do plan to make it compatible. Now, this is an add-on that I'm really looking forward to seeing. For 10 years in my Flight Simulator experience, it was one that I really wouldn't want to miss, and one that was standard accompanying me on my flights, just like vPilot for VATSIM, etc. So I'm really looking forward to see Active Sky for Microsoft Flight Simulator in action. Now, with that, that's going to be it for today's video. I do hope that you enjoyed it. Be sure to head over to the link to the product page. You'll find it in the video description below, so that you can have a direct look at what Active Sky FS is going to offer. With that, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Hope that you found this one interesting. I do apologize for the little trolling at the beginning with the PMDG, but let's be honest over here. This is a great looking picture, isn't it? And it's great to have those weather radar details there which are actually working compared to other weather radar scenarios. So thank you very much for watching, everyone, and I see you all again on the next one, hopefully with a little bit more Airbus tutorials and with hopefully a little bit different kind of content as well. Thank you for watching. I see you all again on the next one. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and if you're up for more, especially do that latter thing. Thank you very much, and see you all again on the next one.